A new episode of Real Ranked is going live right now. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Real Ranked. Today we will be ranking all of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies on a tier list with the release of Licorice Pizza. So I'm just going to bring in who we have today with Andrew Just.
Hey, how we doing? I'm Quiz Kid Andrew Just.
And we got Stephen Bush here.
Hey, yo, what's good, everybody? Sorry, I don't have a Magnolia reference for you all, but
I also do not have a PTA reference in my name, but we're all excited to talk about some Paul Thomas Anderson films. Unfortunately, Sean and Kenny were not able to participate in today's ranking, but yeah,
we miss him dearly. Kenny should be here. I'll say it.
And we got Cameron in the live chat.
Hey, Cameron.
PTA, let's go.
True. Yeah. Totally true, my friend. That's wait, well put.
King God, PTA.
True. I'm gonna pull up the tier list right now.
Beautiful. So this is 9 movies on a tier list.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And for all of you audio listeners, we do not have anything below B tier. So B tier is our lowest ranking because PTA.
Then we have S plus.
That good, and we have an S plus tier. So
as agreed upon by the committee.
Yeah,
S plus.
Sick. Yeah, I love PTA. What's your guys' history with them? Like, how long have you been watching his stuff for a while? Because I know for me, I had seen a few, but I recently just went through them all in the past 6 months.
Yeah, I watched There Will Be Blood in high school. I think it was on the way to I watched it on my fucking telephone for the first time. We were going on a family vacation, like right after I think was it that one? Or was it maybe like sophomore, junior year of high school? Because I think it would have been maybe right after my junior year of high school. So yeah, like 4 years ago, watched 3.5, little more than that. Watched There Will Be Blood. I was like, I had seen a decent number, not that many movies though, and I was like, damn, that movie was awesome. That's like one of the best movies ever. And then I didn't watch another one of his movies until like college, I think, to be honest. And then I just watched a few of them like last year, and then I decided I'd finish his filmography, so I had to watch like 2 or 3 more. I just watched Inherent Vice for the first time 2 weeks ago or something, so or like last week. It was like last week actually, but yeah, that's the PTA rundown for me. So I've always liked him though. So yeah.
My first PTA movie was Punch Drunk Love in 2019 in February, and then throughout 2019 I just went through his filmography, so it wasn't immediately after, but I did end up going through everything except for Hard 8, and then I finally watched Hard 8 2020 and completed everything, and then now I've just been rewatching his stuff, and just I've enjoyed everything better the second time on rewatches. Everything just gets better for me, and I just really like him as a director and his style.
Yeah, for me also Punch Drunk Love. It was high school or early college for me. I just heard that it was a good movie from Cinefix or something. So I checked it out, and I really, really liked it. But I didn't watch much else. I think I saw The Master as well, After seeing the interview scene in like a video essay, I was like, that was sick. But I didn't watch most of these others until this past year. Even though it was like high on my list, like especially Boogie Nights and Phantom Thread, like some of those ones you hear a lot more about. But for some reason, Magnolia is the one. I just like threw it on when I saw it on Netflix one day, and I fell in love with that. So, yeah, it was like I started a while ago, but only really got to all of this stuff in the past 6 months or so.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking. I don't think I watched another. I watched The Master like 2 years ago, and then I finished like all the other movies last year. And
Yeah.
watched Inherent Vice a week and a half ago. So.
Yeah, right.
That's great. I'm just gonna pull up some comments we have in the live chat. Albert is asking, why is there an S+ tier?
Because why not?
Yeah,
because it's a different kind of scale here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And PTA, his films are just that good, so
Agreed.
I think he's deserving of an S+ tier. Albert also says, I can tell this panel is going to be skewed positive.
I feel like almost anybody we get in the club would be somewhat skewed positively.
The thing, unless outside of like a few, like select few, I think everyone can acknowledge PTA as one of the great American filmmakers of his generation, and possibly the last even like 50-ish years.
Yeah, I think especially in regards to just like the dude is not a commercial success. And people just keep funding his projects. Like I was looking through his Wikipedia a while ago, and it's like every movie he makes was like with a new production company because he just has to like move around to get his movies picked up, I guess. Like he just truly, it seems like he's making them because he loves filmmaking, and you can see that in his films.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's less likely that someone who hates PTA would want to talk about PTA movies. So
true.
It's less likely they've seen all. Also, it's less likely that they've seen all of his movies. You know. So
yeah. Well, cool. I'm ready when you guys
get into it.
Yeah, let's get into the ranking then. We'll start off by talking about Hard 8. And I can start with this one. It's Hard 8 is just like it's a great debut. You know, it's a debut film, but I think the story is still really interesting. I think like filled with interesting characters. Philip Baker Hall is fantastic, and it's like you can kind of see the beginning of his style, and really cool.
Yeah, I think Hard 8 is a great debut movie. And I personally, like, if you look at my favorite directors and then my favorite films of theirs, it's always within their first couple. Usually, like, I like the low budget style when you can see like the bare bones approach. I do think in comparison to what he went on to make, it ranks lower for me. But I think it's a great one, and also cool to see John C. Reilly like getting started with him early in the career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys hit the nail on the head. I mean, there's not much to add. I think it does. I like the first like hours. Honestly, is like just up there with pretty much his usual work. I think it's a bit of a generic ending for a PTA film. Kind of doesn't go anywhere significant, but for what it is, I think it's pretty great. It is interesting though. It was the film where he realized he wanted full creative control for everything, because I think they said that the studio was either going to intervene with like the script or like something, or they were going to change the title. So he wanted it to be called Sydney, and so they wanted it to be Hard 8. So it was like, I guess it kind of made him like, all right, I just have to be in complete control of everything, or I'm not going to get my way. So like,
I do think Hard 8 might be a better name, but
yeah, I think Hard 8 is not a bad title though. So
yeah.
But yeah, so I would put it B tier respectfully.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I would
We'll
as
put
well.
B.
Okay.
We can all agree on that. Yeah.
Sweet, easy.
Cameron says he still needs to watch Hard 8, but it's probably better than Maggie Gyllenhaal's debut.
Probably. No,
Wait,
no offense to Maggie Gyllenhaal,
yeah.
but I mean, she's
Didn't she
probably
just
not
do The
as good
Lost
of a
Daughter?
character as PTA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought The Lost Daughter was supposed to be pretty good.
I don't know. I guess Cameron thought it was just
Cameron has a grudge.
Yeah.
He thought it was just meh. Although, what didn't Paul Schrader like that movie? He said it was a.
Yeah.
He said that he was okay with her beating him in writing.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't want to watch this because she beat me, but it was pretty good. Essentially.
Paul Schrader.
Paul Schrader's funny, dude.
I love Paul Schrader. We need to do a real ranked Paul Schrader sometime. But first, I have to watch more of his movies. So.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah. I've only seen First Reformed.
I've only seen what 2 of his directed movies, I think. Mishima and First.
Yeah, would you
Reformed.
count writing for that? Who's to say?
Then it would just be Scorsese.
Yeah. Then you could do Scorsese collabs and whatnot. So, who knows?
But all right, let's move on to his next movie, Boogie Nights. Andrew, let's start with you.
Oh, dude, Boogie Nights is like, when I was watching it, I was like, this might top Magnolia for me. Ultimately, it didn't quite, but I loved it, and I'd seen so much. Like it's used in some of the film classes I've taken, especially the scene with what's William H. Macy's character's name in this?
Bill.
It's Bill. Yeah. Lil Bill, is that it?
Little Bill. Yeah, Little Bill.
Yeah. The scene, his big scene, I'll say. Like with the one take and the opening.
That scene's amazing.
Yeah. It's just like, it's so incredibly constructed for his second film ever. And like the names he got in it. And it's the start of what I think he does so well, which is having like an insane cast that he uses properly. When I see an ensemble film, I often think that probably won't be a great movie. They're going to rely on the names, and it's not. And they just hired like just to, be able to sell it. Whereas with his movies, I think his insane ensembles, he puts them into perfect use. And this was his first step towards my belief that his magnum opus Magnolia, with those collection of characters, just really incredible. And getting to see Mark Wahlberg's just the rise and fall. I love that sort of story, and it's really cool to see, especially once everything starts breaking down. I think that's when the movie is just like, oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah.
Also the Alfred Molina scene is like amazing.
Very well crafted. So
that's just, I love any movie where Alfred Molina just has a great bit part. Like it's always great to see him. But yeah, he's great. The one thing about this movie is that I think he's not honed in completely on his own unique style in this. It still feels like he's a little bit kind of reaching for influences. It's not like necessarily a bad thing, but like, watching it, I'm kind of like, he's sort of just imitating like maybe like Scorsese, even like Tarantino a little bit. But Tarantino, he's imitating people too, but like it's a different kind of thing. But like he kind of just has that style that in this one especially, I feel like he's just trying to emulate a little more than his other stuff, where he's like a lot more focused in on his own movie, if that even makes sense.
I've often heard people say that a lot of PTA was like each of his films is inspired by some different director that he really likes. I don't know if I can pin that to everything, but I think Boogie Nights is the most clear. I've definitely seen comparisons to the opening scene of Boogie Nights and like the Copacabana scene or something like that.
Yeah, it does feel like a Scorsese gangster in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
at least stylistically.
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that for sure.
Which I'm not complaining. I love Goodfellas and Casino, so that's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, just the filmmaking is stunning. Like just how everything, like all the tracking shots and you know,
Yeah.
but also I think just you talked about how great the ensemble is. I think every actor just does perfectly, and how everything comes together, and every like person like connects with each other, and the whole story is just extremely well done. I really like how it deals with like the stigmatization of porn as well, which is like really, you know, interesting for a movie, and just like the effects of like fame and stuff like that, which and then the downfall as well. And
Yeah.
the soundtrack is amazing too. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Every
PTA knows
PTA movie has an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, insane. I was Boogie Licorice Pizza soundtrack just been playing on my Spotify since I saw it.
Dude, we'll get to that.
We
but,
can get to
like,
that.
the credits, holy shit. I just remember seeing those credits and being like, what? How much money was all that?
Yeah. I mean, so I personally, I think I'd put. Well, Matthew, did you have anything else to say about Boogie Nights?
I it's 2 hours and 35 minutes, and it just goes by really quickly.
It
Like it doesn't
flies
feel
by.
like it's that long, but
Yeah.
I've seen it 3 times now, and just I feel like it goes by.
Yeah. So I would put it. It's one of my 2 S+ picks. So
I would put it. That's where
I
I
might put it on just the S.
That's fair.
But and like since we added the plus, it's like I could have maybe seen on an A, but we've got that plus there, so S is fine. At least for my
I could get S. I think there's a weird thing for me where I think There Will Be Blood is just so perfect that I didn't relate to it as much, but I think it's such a perfect film that I want to rank it higher than I might.
That's fair. No,
I'm trying to decide like where I land. So I'm
we can put on S+ or S for now,
because I would have it
as it goes on.
So I think we'll put it in S+ because 2 of us have it there, and then
that's fair.
we can rearrange it later.
Yeah.
So we're not stacked too high.
It's okay. I don't have. And I will say it's not half the list is going to be S+ the rule. So
that's good. Cool.
All right. Well, let's move on to Magnolia then. Steven.
I have to start. I feel like I'm not as big a fan as Andrew, so I kind of feel like, but I like, it's great. I'm trying to think. I guess there's not. It's a lot. There's a lot in this movie, and I'm not sure if I think it all works well perfectly. It works very well in a lot of scenes. It's the same thing. Like individually, each scene I think is pretty amazing, kind of like Boogie Nights, but it's a little long. Oh, and I mean, some of my favorite movies ever are 3 hours long or plus that. So I don't know. I still like it though. I don't have a ton to say, for whatever reason. It just has never been one that like stuck with me, even though I still liked it a lot. So yeah, it's one I just don't have a ton to say. The cast is great. I think William H. Macy again is one of the best parts of the movie. I think the ending is cool. The the unexpectedness of it. And I like John C. Reilly. I think is pretty great. I think Julianne Moore's stuff is kind of maybe the stuff that I don't like as much. But I get it to an extent. And even Tom Cruise is pretty great too. Funny. His stuff is pretty funny too.
Yeah,
especially his first few scenes.
Dude.
That's good. It becomes so tragic, and then you're like, oh, so
yeah. My favorite Tom Cruise performance.
I don't know. Maybe I'd have to think about it. No, well, maybe Eyes Wide Shut is pretty awesome, but I don't know if that's his performance that makes the movie great though. It's a good performance, but yeah, maybe this one is a good.
I think it depends on what you're going to Tom Cruise for.
Exactly. I think this is up there with his best for sure, performance wise.
All right. Yeah, no, I also just I the first time I watched it, I didn't quite like get it quite yet, and so I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it. But then when I rewatched it, like something just happened. I was just like, wow, okay, this is actually a perfect. Like I think everything just comes together so extremely well. And like ensemble is just also fantastic, and I just feel like there's still a lot that I don't understand yet, but it's just something I will definitely come back to a lot and just kind of get everything and just I don't know, it's just very gripping and I it's great. But I know Andrew, you probably have more to say.
Yeah, I have thoughts for sure. My favorite, very openly, my favorite PTA, one of my favorites of all time, probably. I think the way that he like every character has something so compelling, and I think every character could lead their own story, like literally, like have their own movie, and that some people like if I just heard that description, I would think, well, it seems like it's overpacked. But I think it's really masterfully executed. Like, I think Julianne Moore's is interesting, but like, dude, like that arc where it's like this person who married somebody for money and then actually falls in love and doesn't want to abuse that. And then like Philip Seymour Hoffman's character with the same like he just cares so much about helping the patient that he's caring for. John C. Reilly's like cop character. He's like this. I mean, John C. Reilly's my man, and I think that character works so well. Like the love that comes with him, and I forget her name, but that whole thing, and like these strange things happen all the time. Like that whole just general conceit. Like the opening is so ridiculous and perfect, and
that opening. So
yeah,
it's insane. It's insane. I remember watching it.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt as a scuba
Patton
diver.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the movie is so dense.
Yeah, it's dense as hell, and I think it totally works. Obviously, the ending is just like so insane, and like I don't know how it could possibly work. Like if I'm reading that in a script, I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I still just love it so much. And seeing like these intricate character details with every single person. The Tom Cruise interview scene where he's like just like insane and pumping himself up to this woman and like so defensive. Versus like when you get to see him at his father's bedside at the end, just oh god, it's so human. I love it. It's so human in this mess of like fantasy, like ridiculous, strange things happen all the time story, and you get to relate and understand each one of these characters. I love it. Yeah.
I think you guys talking about a bit more. Okay, I think I know why I'm a little less on it right now. Is it might just be a little over sentimental for me at times, and I think that might have been what turned me off just a bit from me putting up there with the great PTA films. But
Yeah.
no, I'm not gonna bag on this movie because I don't want to. I'm not here to tell you PTA is a bad filmmaker, Magnolia is a bad movie, because it's not. So yeah. Also, Jason Robards, cool, and it's crazy that guy was literally on his deathbed in like real life, because then he just died like right after that movie came out.
Wow.
It's like crazy. And then Tom Cruise says, "I'm gonna roundhouse kick those dogs." Like, great stuff.
It's so funny, man. Oh god, yeah. I mean, it's clearly an S plus for me.
I would put an S.
Good.
I would put an S.
All right. I might put like honestly maybe a B or an A. I don't know. B. We can put on S for now just because Andrew's got that high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, S I think is fair.
Okay, fair enough.
Cameron in the live chat saying Magnolia's A tier, and that we make him want to rewatch it now.
Okay.
But I think
Albert says it's a D tier.
All right, Albert. Sorry, no. Maybe you should have joined Albert if you're so.
Yeah, watch all of his movies.
Positivity skew.
Yeah, cue the panel. I mean, 3, 2, 1. I'll yell at you in private later, Albert, if you really want.
I completely forgot to bring up Don Cheadle in Boogie Nights as like, and I think his
dude.
performance and like the donut shop scene is just
Yes.
Well, when he's selling the he's selling the stuff too. The radio stuff,
radio.
Whatever it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, the stereo.
The stereo, yeah.
I love the period settings of all of his films. That's just he nails that every time.
Yeah, and he makes San Fernando Valley and just like LA, and it looks like amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I guess Punch Drunk Love is like his most modern film, right?
I think probably.
Yeah,
Just in terms of setting. Oh, that's crazy.
Is Magnolia set during that time?
I think they're both. I think Magnolia might be more of the 90s because that's like the quiz show era before it was like heavily regulated and stuff like that. I think it might have been a bit older. I forget when it takes place, but I mean, Punch Drunk Love is like I think supposed to be just modern times.
Just
from when
what the year it came out, like,
and it came out after Magnolia, so
yeah. Well, let's that leads us into the next movie, Punch Drunk Love. And well, I'll start. I just rewatched this movie before I went to sleep, and so yeah, I mean, this was the first PTA movie I had seen, so it's been 3 years. I was just like, well, time to go back and give it a rewatch, and something happened. Again with Magnolia, I feel like with rewatching the movie, I think I just found a deeper love for it, and I think just with like the filmmaking and the use of colors with like the blue and reds, and there's also just a lot of symbolism too with there's a lot that happens in the movie, even though it's only 96 minutes, and like Adam Sandler is perfect in a role. I think and then,
my god,
he plays this character like just so well with like he has a lot of eccentricities, but like he's on the spectrum as well, I think, which is he kind of captures that really well. And his relationship with Emily Watson's character Lena, I think is just super charming and kind of like grounds him a little bit. And I wanted also just Philip Seymour Hoffman's role. He has a smaller role, but he steals every scene he's in and just like shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Dude, he's so good.
That guy's great. He's great in everything. So
that was great. I keep trying to talk about Licorice Pizza. We'll get there.
John Bryan's score. I love the
score is nice in this one.
Yeah, but then it also is just like super anxious too. There's like I completely forgot like how much anxiety I got from like a lot of this movie.
Yeah,
like, it kind of is juxtaposed by his relationship with Lena, and this is now even one of my favorites now.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's me then. My first as well, so I have definitely maybe some nostalgia for it. It's dude, like the mileage thing is such a funny like driving point of the film, and his relationship with his sisters I think shines so well. And like I used to have some maybe anger management problems back in the day. So I get it. I almost quoted this movie in my best man speech for my for my buddy in October because I had just rewatched it, and the like I have so much strength in me, and like I have a love and it makes me stronger than anything you can possibly imagine. Like it's like these like it's hey Steven, maybe it's that sentimentality that you don't love, but
I like I'm smiling. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And when he goes sicko mode on like the collectors with the tire iron, like that scene's like you don't expect something like that to be in this movie, but just seeing how impassioned Adam Sandler as this character as Barry Eaton gets, I think it's really fun. Also, one of maybe PTA's best jokes, which is when Adam Sandler takes the plunger and he's like, it won't break, and then he smashes it and it shatters on the table, and he's like, that one was broken.
That's an old model.
Yeah, that's an old model. That's it. It's so good, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can go ahead, Steven.
Okay, yeah, no, I love this movie too. I like it a lot because I think it's his most relatable film. I think out of all his movies, it's the one I feel a connection to the most. It's like, I think it's very human to feel kind of drowned out and like a little alone in the world or not. Um, and I think he
Yeah.
captures that feeling very well, even though like I might not be on the spectrum. Like I think a lot of those same feelings, I have, and I also come from a big family, and sometimes with a lot of sisters, so it's like I
Yeah.
sort of get that, and I think his feeling of like uh, not what's the or like just emptiness. He has a lot of emptiness in him, and I think everyone. I feel that sometimes, everybody does, and it's great. I think the sound design too is like pretty great in this movie. And it really captures again like that emotion.
Mhm.
And like you were saying, sentimentality. It didn't feel as much that way to me, and I think it's because it's mostly so focused on that one character.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
kind of it does none of the emotions feel uh, cheap ever, even though it might be a little much. And we do get his perspective, so it's
Yeah.
pretty great. The romance is super sweet, uh, and it's also very genuine too. I think so. I think that's why this movie means a lot to me. It's just a very genuine movie. There's not
Yeah.
a whole lot
Yeah.
of yeah, and I mean, yeah. So I guess that's all I'll say.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I love when he's just like dancing in the mall, like buying the pudding and
Yeah.
Yeah,
some
yeah, he's
small
so
moments.
determined to, break out of the mundane life that he's in.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Oh god, it's a good movie.
Mhm.
The scene with him and Philip Seymour Hoffman in the mattress store.
No, that's such a great scene. Yeah.
It's great. It's
They
so
play off
good.
each other so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. And then yeah, and this is like this is when he's like doing something with a smaller cast, with just
Yeah.
it's not an ensemble, and it's like really interesting just seeing him go from Magnolia to Punch Drunk Love.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Just a totally different direction.
Hmm.
I'd go S personally.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna go S as well. But
I
above
I do the
Magnolia.
S plus, so I think, but that's just me. So yeah, S plus for me. But I guess we can put it S above Magnolia, maybe. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll settle for now.
Okay.
I came in here knowing maybe everybody. My affinity for Magnolia is not matched by most people. So,
Okay.
hey, I got Iron Man 3 up to like A or B tier in the MCU, though.
That's
Wow.
true. That's true. All right. Before we move on, just want to bring up some live comments. Cameron says, "Better Sandman performance, this or Uncut Gems?" I would say this. I think he's better in Punch Drunk Love, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree, but I also think I just like Punch Drunk Love more, and I don't know if that affects. I mean, Uncut Gems is great, but yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, they're actually pretty similar too. They both have
Yeah,
that sort of like anxious feeling
anxious
and
feeling that yeah, exactly.
a character who's just
true.
like so down. Except in Punch Drunk Love, it's more an emotional
Mhm.
down big. Although
Oh,
he does get fucked too. So yeah, they're both down.
the phone sex company. Yeah,
Uncut
Mhm.
Gems is a bit more extreme, and
Yeah,
it's more coming from the perspective of he's an asshole idiot,
yeah.
whereas this
This
one
is like the
it's
world has been taken.
loneliness is kind of
Yeah.
what led him there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely.
He's able to get out of it through the power of love.
yeah.
Yeah.
Albert says his best performance is Grown Ups.
Okay.
Yo, I might have to say, who be on Halloween? Maybe.
QB Halloween, yeah.
Have never seen it, but I hear it's pretty amazing.
Colin and Light Chat saying Hard 8 is S tier. You won't stand for this.
Damn.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man. B ain't bad though. B is just relative to PTA.
Yeah. Let's
All
move
right.
on.
It's
True.
time.
Uh,
Big bad boy of me.
there will be blood.
You had what, like a 5-year gap here or something?
2007, 2002. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Took his time on this one.
Yeah. Because it's an American classic.
Am I starting this one?
Yeah, Andrew.
Sure.
Go for
Yeah.
it.
This one I had extremely high expectations when I was going into it, and I was watching it when I was prepping to use PTA against Albert. And yeah, it lived up to it completely, which, that's I've been finding that a lot of the best movies that I haven't watched, so like Goodfellas, I just watched over break, stuff like that. Like I obviously have these like monumentally high standards for it or expectations, and then I go in, and the best ones either live up to or outdo those expectations, and I definitely think that applies here. Um, Even though it's not like one that I connect to as much, I think it's just like so brilliantly crafted. Just like, oh my, the relationship, I think, especially between father and son, and um, I think the whole film is kind of about trying to just get a read on Daniel Plainview, like trying to actually understand him in these moments, and where his thoughts really are, like whether it's like in the scene where he's swimming, or in the church when he screaming about abandoning his son, like it's as much about trying to figure out whether he's driven by like this like capitalistic desire to just be like this rich man, or like whether how much he truly feels for his son, especially when he's an adult. It's a really interesting character study that definitely, I mean, I haven't seen a ton of oh my god, dude, I'm blanking on names today.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. I haven't seen a ton of Daniel Day-Lewis's work, but oh my god, he blew me away here. And
He's not in too many movies, so
no, yeah,
he's very selective.
He's very
yeah. So, just an incredible movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to echo that sentiment. I mean, here's the thing. It's already iconic. I feel like I already feel like people talk about this movie like it's like a classic, like The Godfather. Like genuinely, I feel like that conversation is happening already, and it's only been 15 years since this movie came out. And like it's crazy, in a year where No Country for Old Men won Best Picture, I still think this movie should have won Best Picture, because that's how good it is. And you know, like any other year, No Country for Old Men wins Best Picture, I'm like, wow,
they got it right.
Like, they got it right for sure. But it's like, also, again, great supporting cast. I think, it's cool because I think you can appreciate this movie on a surface level and just be like, yeah, all the technical qualities are great. It's very awe-inspiring. Like, there's just some of those shots. Like, the one that sticks out to me is when it's like, there's like the pipe, and then like when HW comes home, I think, and Daniel Plainview goes to him, and like he's in the corner, like that to me is just like, what? Whoa! I don't know what, like, you can just appreciate it on that surface level. Like, there are just so many shots like that, and then the oil scene, like that whole stuff is just unreal. But I also think it has those layers. So like, you have that surface level stuff, and then you can dig deeper if you want to, like he will with his oil, I guess. And it's like I think that juxtaposition between like the capitalistic greed, the money, just the greed in general, and like the desire to focus on money, compared with religion, is like those two things are the driving forces in America, I think, for a lot of people. And you see those go head to head with Paul Dano and Daniel Day-Lewis, and it's very intense, and it's fun too. Like, somehow, in spite of it, you could watch it and be, oh, it's a little pretentious, the it's a little cold maybe, but I think that those butting heads is what makes it still fun and like entertaining to watch on top of all that stuff that's going on.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a silent movie at the beginning. I love movies that are just silent at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that really makes a statement and settles you in. So
Yeah, not having to like impress you with flashy dialogue or anything is
yeah.
a huge merit, I think.
Yeah. No, Demi, yeah, I think this movie is perfect, but like, I just have a harder time connecting to the story and the characters. But I can see like how like Daniel Day-Lewis is phenomenal, and he just like completely he has such a commanding presence in the movie. And then Paul Dano and like all this supporting characters as well. They just do an extremely amazing job. But just connecting to the characters, I have a harder time with, which is why I don't love it as much as most people. But I can see like I can see why it's so highly beloved because
Yeah,
of all
absolutely.
the craft and cinematography is beautiful. So many stunning shots. Yeah.
I think Cameron has an interesting point. The emotional distance is on purpose, but it makes it more difficult to connect to. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't know. You don't need to have an emotional attachment to a film necessarily. It just like improves it for some people.
Yeah. I think for me, generally, for movies, that's what I connect to a little bit more.
Yeah,
And,
it's why I'm such a sucker for like this year, like Coda or any of my favorite movies. I have that sort of thing with. So
yeah, for sure.
I guess I might be a little less than you guys, but I think it's fair to say everybody likes movies more when they connect to them emotionally.
Yeah. No, I think what I was trying to say with that is like, it makes me I appreciate everything about this film so much. I just don't like rate it quite as high because I don't have that attachment where I do with like Magnolia.
Yeah, that makes sense. I still think it has emotions. I think that final scene where HW is grown up.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like I think that's just as emotional, as any of his other stuff.
It's devastating. That scene.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, that final scene is the whole movie. That I feel that's even emotional. As funny and wild as it is, there's still got a lot of emotion charge. You kind of feel bad but also feel kind of like he's getting what he deserves too. It's funny. So
he's driven, I think, by his loss of HW in that scene. Like, and I think that's where it shines that he truly cared about his son, as well as in the pipeline scene that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff, man.
Well, the actor who played HW apparently, like, he was offered roles after the movie, and he just would turn them down because he was like, he's like offered Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and he's like, it's like, like I just can't be in a movie ever again that will ever top that. So like he's been offered roles, but he just turns them down because he's like, it's just a dumb commercial movie. Like I was in There Will Be Blood. Like I want to be only in movies like that or whatever. So it's like when you've been in that high of a standard, it's hard to Did
you say the author of Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
No, where like he was offered the role in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The kid HW.
Okay, I was about to say, what the hell? A kid grew up to, right? You're talking about Kid HW then?
Oh my god.
Yeah, Kid HW. Yeah, the actor who played him. So
I like that he got a deaf adult to play adult HW.
Oh yeah,
I think that always adds to a role, whether it's in Coda or Baby Driver or something. Like if you're gonna be portraying that, it's easy to have a more authentic performance with somebody who's had that experience their whole life.
Yeah, for sure.
It's S for me again.
S plus. This is an S plus.
I'm very comfortable with S plus.
So I think for me it's my favorite.
Okay.
S plus. This is
Uh-oh. Matthew opened up YouTube.
What is it?
I was like,
we were getting
I could hear my own voice. I don't like that.
My bad. I'm totally okay with S plus. I get it. I would put it in S personally, but if it's there, I'm not gonna be mad.
Nice.
I think that's all. Those are all my highest rankings. I think, dude, this run that he
Same.
had, this 4-film run, is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cap it
And then-
off with "There Will Be Blood."
dude. And then I think these next two are probably the more.
Well,
people
The
either have it as
Master,
their
though.
favorite or lower. It seems like to me.
The Master. That's the next one, right?
Yeah.
2012
Uh-huh.
or whatever. Yeah, another 5-year gap, right? Wow.
Wait, I thought it was earlier than.
2012.
Yeah, maybe. When was it? Her Invites like
2014.
2014.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess I'm first, so I can just.
I just want to bring up the live chat again
Oh,
with Cameron
yeah,
saying "There Will Be Blood" is S for him.
Yeah, thank you.
Sean hasn't seen Boogie Nights yet, but he think S+ is surprising for him, and also S for Magnolia also.
Hey, I'm
surprising.
here, Sean. That's. I made an impassioned play. Matthew, you were with me on that though.
Yeah, no, I am for sure. And Sean is sad that Punch Drunk Love is not an S+.
I know. I wanted it to be S+.
Hey, it's
Sorry.
those are like really bordering the line, I think.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
of those.
Yeah.
Albert saying milkshake.
So true.
Yes, sir.
That's a good point. Sweet.
I think he's referencing Before Sunrise, right?
Oh yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Film trilogy that I've seen.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, I haven't seen a single Before movie. So.
Not alone in
Yeah,
this.
okay, The Master, though. I think this movie's pretty awesome. In fact, I think you could put it into that run that he had. Fifth film right here. Because, yeah, here's the thing about The Master is it's been like maybe 2 years since I've seen it, so it's not as fresh in my memory, but there's still like very strong shots and stuff like that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot. I need to watch it again though, because it's hard for me to compare with the other movies in this list, just because those I've watched more recently. Even There Will Be Blood, I've gone back and watched like last year or something. So it's kind of hard to compare. But yeah, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, I think it's his first time collaborating with Paul Thomas Anderson. Does a heck of a job here. That he's a Vietnam veteran, right?
I think it's World War II.
World War II.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because the movie's way older than that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but and then him going at it with Philip Seymour Hoffman is just whoa. That's all you have to say is just whoa.
Yeah.
That scene where he's recording their conversation, he's asking questions.
Yeah, that's the best scene in the movie, and I think it's up there for one of PTA's best scenes.
Yeah, I think, and then there's the scene where they're like in the house and the family's there or something, and like Joaquin is running back and forth. Like that scene is really good too. Those two especially. I guess the only thing about this movie, I don't remember entirely what it was. I just remember thinking it does kind of go on a bit too long. It runs out of steam just a little bit because the beginning is so like most of it is so intense and so relentless.
Yeah.
That ending kind of just you come into it because they've been apart for a bit and then they come back together and there's still that animosity, but because they're not so connected anymore, that it's just not as strong, I guess. Maybe is the only issue I have with it, but like, who cares? It's two of the best performances of the 2010s. One of the best movies of the 2010s, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably top 20, 25-ish. I don't know. I still have a lot of movies to watch, but yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I haven't seen this since 2019 as well, and I was hoping to rewatch it after Punch Drunk Love, but I watched Peacemaker and then I watched Punch Drunk Love. So I don't have a lot to say because Steven basically said everything. I feel like there's not a whole lot of input that I can add, but will agree with Cameron in the live chat saying it's Philip Seymour Hoffman's best performance. I agree with him when he said that.
Fair assessment.
Yeah.
And
Okay, I have to fess up, which is that I wanted to rewatch this, but I haven't seen it since like 2016, 2017. And I think my film maturity has increased since then. I was a bit bored in this one. I think he has some really phenomenal stuff, like Steven said. But like because I haven't been able to rewatch it in a time where I think I would enjoy it a lot more now, it doesn't have such a prominent place in my mind, like higher on the list. So I definitely need to get back to it. But yeah, I mean, to sing its praise, like the interview scene, I think the performances, everything that you guys have said, I totally agree. I think this Steven talking about losing its steam a bit. I felt that a bit more throughout the film than necessarily just towards the end. But yeah, a weird ensemble as well, because you got like Plemons, Adams, and Malik, like playing, like,
that's
and
right.
before Malik or Plemons were quite as big of names as they are now, certainly as well. Playing those more minor roles is really interesting.
Wait, Malik who?
Rami Malek.
Oh, okay, yeah. I heard
Terrence.
Malik, and I was like, Terrence Malik.
Yeah,
That's all I can think of right now.
But yeah, so for me, like I said, it's I think of it as a good film, better than a lot, but in comparison to how I remember and think of a lot of these other movies, it's not quite as memorable to me. But I'm sure that could change on a rewatch at a more modern time.
I think this is a movie that we all need to rewatch if this shows anything. And so
yeah. So for me, I would go A. I think
I would go A as well.
Same. Yeah, I think I'd put it at A.
Beautiful.
So.
Okay, great.
It's actually going to be insane to me if Boogie Nights ends up as our top. But we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see. We have 3 more left, so I'll start with Inherent Vice, which was another one I didn't get a chance to rewatch, but I remember liking it, and then but also being very confused by the entire thing. And I feel like if I give it another rewatch, I'll be able to understand everything a lot better. Hopefully, it's just like kind of a very convoluted story, but like also just I found really interesting and gripping, and I think all the ensemble is really great. I think this is another one where it's a huge ensemble, and I think I really like what everyone is doing. I think like one of the scenes that I just remember is when Joaquin Phoenix, he's looking at the photo and he just screams like all of a sudden. I just found that like to be really memorable just from having seen it 2 years ago. So, but Andrew, what do you have to say about Inherent Vice?
Yeah, I think the plot and Joaquin's performance are like something that I don't think shines quite as well as in comparison to like other PTA plots or other Joaquin performances necessarily. But the visuals of this one really stuck with me for a reason that I can't completely explain. When I watched when Owen ran that one visual thing, I think it was Owen, and he just had like an establishing shot from the film as the first visual frame in that competition we were playing, and I got it right away because for some reason everything in this like sticks out to me so much. I think it's shot so well. That definitely raises it up for a bit for me, even though I mean, I didn't follow the plot super well. I wasn't maybe in the best state to be watching it. I was just like trying to get it done. I was doing like some challenge or something. And so I don't know if I gave it its proper due. I mean, I'm going to return to all of these. But it's the biggest part about it for me is the visuals, I guess is what I mean to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The scene in particular is it the first time he interacts with Owen Wilson's character? I think is what it is. They're like in that alley, and it's just dark and like smoke, and that is amazing. But I don't think this is a movie you're supposed to really give a crap about the plot at all.
Totally fair.
It's Well, and it's not a PTA original screenplay. Like I think it's his only movie where he adapted. So that adds an element to it that makes it a little different. I really like the scene where Joaquin goes to like the the uh the what is it? Is it a brothel or something? I don't know.
Oh
And
yeah.
and he like that whole sequence is pretty funny to me. And then he just passes. Then he gets knocked out. He wakes up. And there's just cops all right there lined up.
Yeah.
He's just laying on
He's
the
like
ground
laid
like
out.
what?
There's the line.
Yeah, I was really liking this movie for a long time, and then I don't mind a convoluted plot. Like it's a noir movie. Like they kind of. I just watched The Long Goodbye as well, and it's kind of the same thing. Where like you don't know what like it's a laid back. You're just kind of laid back, figuring out the mystery kind of as you go along, but it's not like it's not the important part. But like that movie kind of had like a finality to it. This one, you just keep going, and it never makes sense at all. I don't know, but that's okay, honestly, because I'm all for the vibe of it. And Josh Brolin, pretty good too. It's interesting. It's interesting to see the turn the movie takes with his character, where you realize something and you're like, oh, and then it's like that final interaction between Joaquin and the dad of whatever character is like. It's pretty cool too. Um, but yeah, I think the weird thing is the voiceover narration. I think that's Reese Witherspoon doing it. It's a little. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but yeah, it's good. It's a PTA film. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Anything else for you, Matthew?
I don't have anything else. Cameron's in the live chat saying Inherent Vice, only time Owen Wilson is in PTA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so. And I think it's the first movie his wife showed up in PTA.
Oh,
Isn't it Maya Rudolph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Unless she
can't
was
think
in
of
the
anything in The
Master,
Master.
but I don't
Master,
think she was
yeah,
in
I
the
don't think so.
Master.
Yeah. I like the bit parts she gets.
Yeah.
Licorice pizza.
Yeah, same. But
Yeah.
we'll get to that soon. I would put Inherent Vice in B.
Yeah, that's fine.
I would go A, but that's
Or
fine.
A, but
I'm cool with either.
we put it above Heart 8 for sure. Well, not for sure, actually.
I would for sure put it above Heart 8.
Yeah, put it above Heart 8.
Mhm.
B, yeah. I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Matthew, this is your time to shine. Am I starting this off here?
It is my time to shine, but I started Inherent Vice off, so
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah, Phantom Thread rules. It's not. I don't know how I felt about this one because obviously, like, I saw it this year, 2021, and obviously, like with all the Oscar stuff and that all that, I've definitely. The first time I watched it, I was like, great movie, really cool. Not so high up on my list. Hearing people talk about it makes me appreciate it more. So like I watched a Karsten Runquist thing. I've heard Matthew talk about it. And that has definitely developed my appreciation. And I think when I went through a bunch of these in a row, this is one that I ended up thinking more about. Just like it kind of stayed in my mind. I like to usually space movies out more so that I don't end up watching like 4 phenomenal films in one day and not being able to process all of them with what they deserve. And so I kind of did that with PTA, I think, when I did my little binge back in the summer. But this is the one that I ended up thinking about more, and so it gets a lot of credit for that for me because that's usually a metric I like to use. Is like, is this something that immediately left my mind once the credits finished rolling, or was it something that seems to have an impact on how I think about things? So, yeah, I don't have a lot of specifics to talk about. I don't think. besides, incredible performances, incredible chemistry between the two leads.
Mhm.
Smaller
Mhm.
cast than usual as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you talking about it. It's like the score just like popped back into my head.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Because I was trying to think. It feels like I watched this movie a lot longer ago than I actually did. I watched it in May, so it's been
Yeah.
like it hasn't even been a year, but it feels like a while ago. So I don't think that's necessarily a good thing.
Interesting.
It's the only PTA film where I felt, or not the only one, I should say, but it's one of the few where I like felt like kind of like uninterested in parts. I think maybe it's just it's a lot. It's even for PTA. I feel like it's honestly one of his more subtle movies,
Oh, for
so
sure.
it's kind of hard to, you know, get into it right away. Um, like it's really just a feud movie. Like a lot, like The Master is. It's just a feud movie. I think essentially.
Mhm.
There will be. I mean, you know,
Yeah, I get
most
that.
movies it's the conflict between two characters or
Yeah.
internal
Yeah,
conflict
that's where I
between
see
a
it.
person. Like it's literally that's what storytelling is. But I think this one it kind of took a while to like make me realize, okay, this is what this movie really is. um and I only watched it because I'm like Paul Thomas Anderson, but if I ever, I don't know if I would have wanted to watch this on my own if I didn't know Paul Thomas Anderson directed it. I don't know. I remember when it came out in theaters, I wanted to see it and never got around to it, but it's good. There's not a whole lot to say about it. Daniel Day-Lewis is good, but I mean, issues. I mean, he's not Daniel Plainview in this, and so, um, that's okay though. It's a good movie.
It's more of a subtle performance by Day Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we want to knock him for There Will Be Blood. I think he's got a lot of subtlety to that one too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a good movie. It might
Yeah.
be my least favorite PTA. I'll be
Oh, wow.
honest though. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, maybe maybe you'll change on a rewatch.
Yeah, I can. I'll give it a watch again. I'm sure at some point
Uh-huh.
in my life.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is my favorite of PTA's filmography. There's something about it that just kind of resonates with me, and I think Paul Thomas Anderson just does a phenomenal job with his direction of like this time period, and Daniel Day Lewis and Vicky Krieps. Like they're both excellent together, and I just think their toxic relationship with each other is like really really interesting, and how like they're both like just the two characters and how they are like opposites of each other, and like how um Alma, she like uses poison, like she poisons him,
Yeah.
and it's just like such a really interesting romance that's being told, and just that like control where like Reynolds needs everything to be perfect in when he's making his dresses, but then and then the stumbles upon Alma who just they're no I'm rambling at this point, but
No,
I think
sorry, go
the
ahead.
whole dinner scene when like when it's just him and the two of them together when all the people in the house are gone, and like she makes him like the asparagus, and just like I don't know, I find that to be really memorable. And then at the end with the omelet as well, and he the ending also just really sticks with me. He purposely, like, he knows that she poisoned him, but like he willingly eats the omelet, which I
Yeah.
think, just like really sticks with me. And everything is just much more subtle here, but I really loved it.
Yeah, I actually, just hearing you talk about it makes me think about some things. Like, it is such an interesting exploration of what like love is and can be. Like this yeah, it is so much more of a conflict, and like I guess it kind of depends on how you think of love as a person and how you think of what a relationship can and will be. But man, this is like an unexplored type of situation, and their interactions are so specific, and it doesn't feel written like in this like, oh, it's like written to work in this way. It truly feels real. So I do give it a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, it seems like you guys we got like an S plus
Yeah.
and a B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go S personally.
You can go S.
Okay. I can
Uh,
go S,
I
low
think we go
S, or
S.
high A, low S. Yeah,
So
that right there is probably fine.
right there, probably.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going Magnolia above.
Yeah,
Just,
Yeah,
for sure. So I think we can
fine.
compromise that.
In all honesty, I could easily put it above like Inherent Vice and Heart 8, depending on the
Mhm.
day. Like
yeah.
for me, it's like Phantom Thread, Inherent Vice, and Heart 8 are kind of like those are the three that I just don't love as much as the other ones. I think
Mhm.
if I was being assessing them. So.
Yeah. And like the other thing is just like with Daniel Day-Lewis's character, like you like hear that his mother's died as well, which is like kind of adds something really interesting to just like how he is as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm gonna bring up some like comments now. Cameron says Phantom Thread S tier.
Yeah.
Albert says now we need a D tier for a Phantom Thread.
Yeah, Albert would put Magnolia and Phantom Thread at D tier.
Cameron says this movie is extreme passive aggression.
True.
Sweet. Yeah. It's true. Albert said we need a D tier. I don't know. Does he hate Phantom Thread too?
He doesn't like Phantom Thread. No, I think his least favorite is Magnolia though.
Yeah.
Wait, has he
That's
seen
funny.
The Master?
Our two favorites.
I don't know.
I don't
Because I was gonna say I feel like Albert, if he didn't like those two, he probably wouldn't like The Master. But I don't know. Whatever. I guess we're on to the next one.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right.
Nothing else to say.
So
Pizza time.
Licorice pizza. Can I bring up the? Will we get DMCA'd if I pull up the clip?
Yeah, maybe. Sony, I don't think is great with that stuff. Steven, you start us here, right?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I really, 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 really like this movie. I mean, it's got a great, all around great performances, like every PTA film. I think it's it really does feel a lot like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well. Kind of the nostalgic look at a pastime for a modern filmmaker who's one of the few remaining like true American auteurs still working in the studio system. So it's and like it's just kind of a hangout movie, and I really dug it. I think that that relationship between Elena Heim and Cooper Hoffman's characters it's really interesting. You don't really see. I don't think I've seen a relationship like that in a movie like ever. Honestly, I don't know. There's not many. I mean, there's probably a few I could think of if I thought about it, but
Yeah.
the the older girl who's still trying to find herself, and then you have the younger entrepreneurial kid who's just trying to take every chance he can, and it's sort of like they meet in the middle. And it's sweet, and I never and there's a lot of talk about it being it's condoning pedophilia.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't think it is. I don't even think that's their type of relationship. Yeah, they do they probably are attracted to each other, but they know it's wrong, I think, so they're not doing it. But even if it did, kind of go in that direction, like art is immoral, I don't know. I don't think a movie has to be held to the standards of morality. I think most people, as long as a movie doesn't condone it, you can still show those things. And even if it condones something, it doesn't matter. Art is immoral as far as I'm concerned. But I don't think this movie even deserves that conversation, which is even more annoying to me.
Yeah.
And also, I also loved what's his name? Shoot, I'm gonna real quick actor name.
Sean Penn. Tom Waits.
No, well, yeah, Sean Penn. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. It's John Michael Higgins.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
his
Yeah,
character is
it's
hilarious.
something.
He's hilarious. I was laughing so hard. Like, he's just like he's such a racist. It's so funny. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Yeah.
know
And
that was
I
like a
I love
discourse.
I love that scene so much
Mhm.
because I feel like that's a scene that when people talk about like, oh, movies are so PC today, they don't make them like they
Yeah.
used to. Like, and then I'm like, you know what? In 20 years, when people are saying that exact same thing, they're gonna be like, yeah, like in Licorice Pizza. And you know, it's like the
That's funny.
same thing. Like movies like this
Exactly.
are always getting made. It's just a matter of how people
Yeah.
interpret it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and where you
but
find the movies. A lot of the people
yeah,
who say that are like not watching everything.
yeah, exactly. And again, art is more like I don't think the movie is saying you should be racist toward
No,
Asians.
exactly.
No.
So I don't know, but it's a funny scene. Yeah,
Mhm.
and Tom Waits, Sean Penn are both great. Bradley Cooper. I you guys have a lot to say too, so I don't want to keep going on and steal all of it. But yeah, I really love it. So yeah,
Yeah.
and
No.
it's hilarious. I
Yeah.
think I said that already, but
It is really.
it might be his funniest movie. So
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
no,
see that.
for sure. I think I can agree with that. Yeah. But yeah, I think the intimate look at the Gary, Valentine, and Alana just is very well done, and I think their chemistry just like is very it's easy to connect to, and just see it grow as well, and just like the juxtaposition between what Stephen had already said and the atmosphere of the entire movie. I just the movie just draws you in, and I just like loved sitting in the theater for the 2 hours uh, of the movie, and just like with the San Fernando Valley, just all these characters that just show up and then leave. It's just like they're all great. I also, I also really like just like Skylar Gisondo. I think
Yeah,
was a
love that guy.
nice part. It's always cool to see him show up after watching Santa Clarita Diet. So
who's that? What's his character?
he's
I don't know who
the
that is.
brother.
He's the actor that Alana dates. Really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, the
Okay, yeah, no, I know who you're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about. Yeah.
Yeah,
the other actor.
dude, he's young Sean Spencer in Psych, and that's all. Like, he's so good. But I watched Psych so much in high school and even middle school that like I'll never not think of him that way. But he's incredible in every role I've seen him in since.
Yeah.
It's cool. I didn't know he was in this one. He's one of the few people that surprised me when he showed up. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, the other great cameo, John C. Riley. Just you hear his voice and just
Yeah.
like
I got so excited when I heard that in the theater.
yeah.
Yeah, so for me, the age gap thing I think is like, yeah, as soon as I don't think it's honestly worth talking about that much. I saw somebody be like, you can't possibly construe it as romantic, and I was like, yeah, you can. I mean, like,
Yeah, no, you
you absolutely can. I don't think it matters that much, like you said. And yeah, I mean, the rotating cast. He got these big names, and then he was like, all right, you get 2 scenes, and all of them absolutely ruled with those 2 scenes. The end also caught me by surprise. I like wasn't expecting it to end at that moment, especially like the dinner with Safdie and Alana Haim.
yeah.
Like that was just such a like it's just bringing you into these tiny little stories and being like, hey, these things are also existing in the world, but we're focusing on something else for right now. These interactions are important to these characters that we're following, but that's really what it services. And that's so cool to me. I like that a lot. Also to see Cooper Hoffman, after losing Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Yes.
it's like really just that being a thing is emotional to me. And working with 2 like basic amateurs in terms of acting. Sure. Obviously, like Alana Haim's a performer. I'm sure Hoffman had some he's done it before, but yeah, I was just looking at Alana Haim's IMDb, and it's all like Haim music videos, and then documentary now, and the unauthorized Bash Brothers experience. So like shit that I love.
She's really she hasn't acted in anything though. So.
Yeah,
it's her
definitely
first
not
time. She's amazing in the role. Like, just captures that kind of character and just the kind of just not knowing what to do with life. Feels very real.
Dude, I mean, that's the most relatable thing to me is like her like being lost. I mean, I'm fucking 24. I get it. I'm still in college. I like her character a lot. Yeah. I don't. It's hard for me to place this one though, because I'm always in a battle against recency bias.
The same. But I loved it. I'm probably gonna watch it again soon. Now that's coming to theaters here, and yeah,
I would probably go with that.
Yeah, we should all go see it again.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's a pretty
Definitely.
awesome movie.
Yeah.
So I would go. I'm like S and A. Maybe leaning towards S. I don't know. It's tough for me.
Yeah, I think I'd go S.
I'm gonna go S as well.
I'd put it bottom S though. If
I have it
looking at these other
right
ones.
under Punch Drunk.
I would put it above Magnolia and Phantom Thread.
See, I was about to say because Matthew's got the battle of he wants to put it above Magnolia, but he doesn't want to put it above Phantom Thread.
Yeah. Like,
That's true.
It's bottom S for me, but dude, PTA is so good.
I know, it's like who even cares? Whatever.
I'll
throw it on
I
wherever
think
you want. I love
right
it.
now.
There you go.
Right now, I would put it at like maybe number 3 for me. It's kind of like, I think I'd put it above Boogie Nights because I think it's just a bit more focused and mature, just slightly. But
I'm conflicted about our S plus right now. If we're getting into the final nitty gritty of it all, but I like Boogie Nights more than There Will Be Blood. It just feels weird. This is not the list I thought it was gonna be, man.
I need to bring up Cameron's comment saying Cooper really takes after his dad. His charisma bleeds off the screen. Yeah, I mean, he's super charismatic.
Dude, I can't wait for his career to take off and see him just be a badass. Everyone, dude, the heck, we're so blessed that we live in a time where we can watch Paul Thomas Anderson films.
True. In theaters too.
Yeah, dude, that was great.
In theater PTA experience because I didn't see
Same.
Because I started with
seeing Licorice Pizza,
and then
in
2019. So,
dude, seeing Licorice Pizza in theaters was like awesome.
And
awesome. Then I got to like there were people in the theater and they were like they were laughing along with it, having a good time.
Yeah,
I was like, yes. Cinema is not dead.
There were way more people in that theater than I was expecting.
Same.
Because I saw it, and then I went to see Red Rocket right after, and I was alone in the theater, and I was like, "Well."
I saw Red Rocket with one other guy, and
that's worse than seeing it with the crowd.
Yeah, it was pretty weird, but oh well.
I watched it with my family. And I was surprised my brother liked it because like he's not very like he doesn't really like artsy movies and stuff like that. You know, he's a big blockbuster
Licorice
guy.
Pizza or Red Rocket?
Licorice Pizza.
Okay. I was gonna say Red Rocket would be a weird one to watch with the fam. But
yeah.
Sweet. I mean I'm honestly cool with leaving it here. I think we've all expressed how much we just like his movies.
It's fine.
Like this is clearly like I feel like it could change based on the day, but I'm
for
curious.
Sure. It's really just like There Will Be Blood is like the one where I'm like it's untouchable for me, but that's pretty much all that is.
I like that we have the 3 different favorites here too, though, and in pretty different styles as well.
Yeah,
like none of these are very close to each other, so that's fun.
Yeah. Here's to hoping he's able to make at least 10 more movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, that's exciting. He's just entering his prime. Like, think about that. That's insane.
I will watch anything he does from now on in any theater.
For sure.
As soon as I can.
Have you guys seen any of his shorts?
Not.
Talk about that. Anima is really, really great. It's just it's on Netflix, so you guys should definitely check it out. But it's like with the music of Tom York, and just really beautiful visuals and just kind of mind bending. So
neat.
You guys should watch it. And then I did watch Blossoms and Blood just after I watched Punch Drunk Love. It's basically filled with some extra footage from Punch Drunk Love that they didn't put in the movie. So it's just interesting to look at, and there's a great song that's played over it.
It looks like Licorice Pizza was another box office flop, but we can somewhat blame that on COVID.
Yeah.
Also, well, Licorice Pizza hasn't released wide yet.
Has it not?
It has.
I guess I saw it in Keystone Arts. Yeah, you're right.
So it was.
It's just been it's been on limited for so long.
It's not, but the thing is, it's not like it's not super limited, but it was like mildly limited. Like on Christmas Day, I think it expanded, but it didn't go full wide. I don't know if they're ever gonna do full wide with it, to be honest. But like, it's been doing well at theaters individually, so. I could see it making. They might like wait until it gets Oscar buzz to like really expand it.
That makes sense. They re-released Moonlight back then. That's how I got to see Moonlight in a theater. Was I missed it on its first run through, but I got to see it after it re-released for the Oscar season. So
yeah, makes sense.
Penny in the live chat saying Anima is great. PTA is just good friends with Radiohead. So, yeah,
for sure.
Sweet. Well, you guys
also, one more thing. Let's just acknowledge all these titles are great. Like, PTA is great at coming up with movie titles.
Yeah,
just to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I love these. I got nothing else to say. Love this filmmaker. Love his movies.
All right.
I might watch Magnolia after this.
And I don't know. Maybe I should watch The Master.
Yeah, maybe that's what I should do.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch that. But for all you audio listeners, to sum up our collaborative ranking, at the bottom of B tier is Hard 8, then Inherent Vice. In A tier, we have The Master. At the bottom of S tier, we have Phantom Thread. Then we have Magnolia, then Licorice Pizza, and at the top is Punch Drunk Love. And at the bottom of S plus is There Will Be Blood, and at the top is Boogie Nights. And so, do you guys have your own personal rankings you guys would want to say out loud right now?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, let's see, I have it here. I'll have to place it. I have Magnolia at S plus. Where's the This tier list doesn't even have The Master. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, sorry. Magnolia, followed by Boogie Nights and S plus. Then There Will Be Blood, Punch Drunk Love, and then Licorice Pizza's either bottom S or top of A. Okay, I guess Phantom Thread. You guys hearing Matthew talk about it. Phantom Thread's S, I think. The Master in A, Inherent Vice bottom A, and then B for Hard 8.
I'd go. There Will Be Blood S plus, then Punch Drunk Love S plus, then Licorice Pizza S, Boogie Nights S. The Master, I'd go A or S. I don't know. And then Inherent. This is hard. Inherent Vice B, Magnolia B, Hard 8 B, Phantom Thread B. I don't know.
You could add a C at that point.
It's kind of hard to go with the tier here. I like the ranking, but Inherent Vice and Magnolia are actually they're pretty. I guess I'll say Inherent Vice just because I do kind of just dig the weird noir a little more than the like sentimentalness of Magnolia, maybe just slightly. I don't know, but whatever. It's kind of hard to do the tier though. Especially with the addition of the S plus instead of S A B C.
All right. So my number 1 is Phantom Thread. Number 2 is Boogie Nights. 3 is Licorice Pizza. 4 is Punch Drunk Love. 5 is Magnolia. 6 is There Will Be Blood. 7 is The Master. 8 is Hard 8. And 9 is Inherent Vice. And, lowest rating I have for any of them is a 4 stars. So,
same.
Yeah, I don't know where I don't rank everything or I don't rate everything. So, but yeah.
And then I have, let's see, there's some live comments. Albert was asked earlier, should I watch Licorice Pizza?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Are you kidding me? It's a horrible film. It's not like it's the best movie of the decade so far. No, at all.
Hey man, Wrath of Man came out last year.
True.
Oh, you're right, dude. No, Godzilla, Monkey v.
Monkey v.
Did
Lizard.
Lizard.
Gotta be up there as well.
Yeah, for sure. Spoiler alert for my best of the 2021 list. Yeah, I mean, I think Licorice Pizza's up there. So,
Hell yeah. We
Are
got
we
a
doing
few.
Ooh.
Gizondo.
just on yeah.
Is
Kenny
Is there-
gave
yeah.
Licorice Pizza S tier.
Let's go.
I agree with this as well. I didn't mention her before. I love that lady. She's
Oh
so good.
yeah.
That scene
I
was
mean,
awesome.
it's. We could make this an hour longer just going on.
Yeah.
Talking about every character.
That's
We
true.
could talk about every character in the ensemble for all PTA movies.
Yeah. Sweet.
And then I'll bring up Cameron's list. 6 is Punch Drunk Love. 5 is Licorice Pizza. 4 is Magnolia. 3 is The Master. 2 is Phantom Thread, and number 1 is There Will Be Blood. So
Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Fair enough. Like I'm saying,
But I will
think
take There Will Be Blood being number 1.
people vary. People really vary on what they think of their movies, which rules.
yeah, I will take.
It's
Phantom
because
Thread.
they're all good. So
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. Thank you for hosting, Matthew.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here. This was fun. It's just fun to talk about PTA with you guys.
Love it.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
So
And
what's
thank
up
you.
next?
To everyone in the live chat, and anyone who will be listening to it in on podcast form. Up next, we have Matthew Vaughn, and Andrew will be hosting that one. So
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense.
Monday.
I'm definitely not joining that. I don't think.
Hey,
will
drop
be-
in the chat. Get excited to see Kingsman at S+++.
yeah, that one will be on the 17th, January 17th. I don't believe there's a time yet, so we'll update you guys later.
Yeah, we're looking at the evening right now, but we'll give an
Yeah.
exact time later.
And then just a couple other rankings that are coming out with no set date yet. We will be talking about female-led action movies next week sometime with the release of the 355. And then a Coen Brothers ranking will be the week after. Then it will be the top 10 of 2021. And then Christopher Nolan. And then Michael Bay, and we also will have our special Oscars episode where we'll make a collaborative Oscars ballot and also talk about our personal choices. And then after that, we'll send out a form for you guys to all vote, so we can, as a group, we can have our own personal Oscars, so RTFO Oscars, and special episode when Oscar nominations come out.
That's actually sick.
We'll live react to the nominations. So a couple of, and that's all. We will see you guys on Monday.
Peace.
Whew. Adios.
Yeah, fill that airtime, baby.
Yeah.